The wind screamed like a wild animal, throwing snow across the frozen land. Liam pulled his coat tighter, his breath fogging in the cold air. He walked alone on the surface of a forgotten ice moon, far from any busy planet. His boots crunched over thick snow, and the storm pushed against him with every step. He was a human explorer, former soldier who now worked alone. This frozen place was supposed to be empty. No life, no cities, no one to bother him. But today his handheld scanner started beeping. A life signal had appeared on his screen, weak but real. He stopped and stared at it. "That can't be right," Liam muttered, tapping the device. But the signal stayed. Two life forms, close to each other, not moving. He looked toward the hills where the signal came from. Wind and snow made it hard to see, but something deep in his gut told him to check. He turned, walking into the storm. Each step was heavier than the last. The snow reached his knees. The cold tried to freeze his skin, but he kept going. 10 minutes passed. Then 20. The signal grew stronger. He climbed a small ridge, and there, half buried in snow, he saw them. Two figures. He ran forward. They weren't machines, weren't animals. They were people, something close to people. No, they were alien females, lying in the snow, their skin pale blue and glowing faintly. Their hair was long and silver, frozen into soft waves. Their clothes were torn and thin, offering no warmth. Liam dropped to his knees. "Hey, can you hear me?" he asked, brushing snow from the nearest girl's face. Her lips were cracked. Her eyelids fluttered weakly. She was alive, just barely. He turned to the second one. She looked older, maybe the older sister. Her arms were wrapped around the younger one, trying to protect her. Her eyes opened slightly when Liam touched her arm. She blinked, her glowing eyes locking onto his face. "Don't move," Liam said softly. "I'm here to help." She didn't speak. Her body shivered, as if trying to stay alive. He had to act fast. The storm was getting worse. Liam pulled out a heat blanket from his pack and wrapped it around them both. Then he took out a stim injector and gave a small dose to each girl, enough to help them stay conscious without shocking their bodies. Slowly, the younger one moaned and moved her fingers. Liam didn't wait. He picked up the older sister first, carried her carefully, and placed her into his sled. Then he lifted the younger one and did the same. His legs burned from the effort, but he didn't stop. He secured them both, wrapped them again in more thermal layers, pulled the sled back toward his shelter. It was a long walk back. The storm tried to stop him, but he pushed through. An hour later, the shelter's steel door hissed open, dragged the sled inside, and sealed the door shut. Warm air filled the small space. Liam quickly set up a heating unit and placed both girls on the padded floor near it. He peeled off their wet clothes, leaving only the basics, and covered them in warm blankets. They were still unconscious, breathing slow but steady. He sat nearby, watching them, unsure of who they were or where they came from. "They're lucky I found them," he whispered. He made hot soup and kept the shelter warm. Outside, the snow kept falling. The storm would last another day, maybe more. He had enough supplies. The real question was what to do with two strange alien girls who now lay in his care. As he looked at them, something inside him stirred. He had seen war, death, and cruelty, but never something so fragile, so helpless, and yet beautiful. Their faces were peaceful now, like sleeping stars in the dark. He reached for his scanner and ran a quiet check on their vitals. Both were stable. The older one had bruises on her arms, likely from restraints. The younger one had a burn near her ankle. They hadn't just been lost, they had escaped something bad. Liam frowned. "Who left you out there?" he asked in a low voice, but there was no answer. The shelter lights dimmed to nighttime mode. Liam leaned back against the wall, eyes still on the two sisters. He didn't know their names. He didn't know what planet they came from. But one thing was certain: if he hadn't found them, they would have died. He didn't believe in fate, but tonight felt different. Something had brought him here, to this exact place, at this exact time. And whatever happened next, He knew life was never going to be quiet again. Then, just before he closed his eyes, the younger girl stirred again. Her fingers curled into the blanket, and a single word escaped her lips: warm. Liam sat up straight. The storm howled outside, but inside the shelter, something fragile had started to come alive. A sharp breath filled the shelter. Liam turned quickly. The older sister was moving. Her fingers gripped the edge of the blanket like a weapon. Her glowing eyes blinked open, wild and alert. She didn't speak, but her stare was sharp, trained. On Liam, like he was her enemy. He raised his hand slowly. "It's okay. You're safe now," he said calmly, voice low and steady. The girl didn't respond. She looked around, scanning the room, calculating. Her breathing was fast. The light from the heater reflected on her pale blue skin, casting shadows across her high cheekbones. Her hair spilled across the blanket like silver threads, half damp, half frozen. Then her voice finally came, cold and cautious. "Where is she?" Liam pointed to the other figure wrapped tightly nearby. She's here, alive." The older sister let out a long breath, something between relief and exhaustion. She tried to sit up, but her arms trembled. Liam stepped closer to help, and in a flash, she grabbed the metal tool beside her and held it toward his chest. "Don't touch me," she growled. He didn't flinch. "I carried you both through a snowstorm. I didn't touch you in any wrong way. I gave you heat, food, and safety," he said. Her grip on the tool didn't change, but her eyes softened just a little. "My name is Liam. I found you outside, almost frozen. You were dying." A pause passed between them. Then the younger girl stirred. "Vera," she whispered. The older sister's face cracked. "Nari." She dropped the tool and scrambled to her sister's side. Nari's eyes were only half open, her breath shallow, but she smiled weakly when Vera touched her face. "You're safe now, Vera," whispered. Liam stepped back, giving them space. He watched them closely, not like a guard, but more like someone trying to understand. They weren't normal refugees. Their movements, their language, even their clothes, it all hinted at something deeper, older. Vera finally looked back at him. "You said your name is Liam?" she asked. He nodded. "You're human." "Last I checked," Liam said, pulling off his gloves. Vera studied him for a long moment, then nodded slowly. "Vera, she's Nari. We escaped a transport ship. Crashed not far from here." Liam raised an eyebrow. "Transport ship?" Vera hesitated, then said quietly, "A slaver ship." The room felt colder after those words. "They were taking us to a trade market," she continued. "We broke free. One of the guards helped us escape. He paid with his life." Liam clenched his jaw. "You ran into the storm. It was our only chance. Either freeze or go back in chains." Nari opened her eyes again, still weak but smiling faintly. Her voice was soft and sweet. "We chose the snow, but you found us." Liam walked over to the heater and grabbed 2 cups of hot soup. "Drink this," he said. "It'll help you recover." Vera looked at the cup in her hands like it was gold. Nari sipped hers gratefully, wincing as the heat touched her throat. "Thank you, Liam," Nari whispered. "You don't have to thank me," he replied. Vera looked at him again, this time not as an enemy, but as something else. "A human, alone on a dead moon," she said. "Strange." "You're one to talk," Liam said with a tired smile. 2 alien sisters running from slavers, glowing like starlight. That's not exactly normal either. For the first time, Vera smiled. Only slightly. Silence fell for a moment, but it was not cold this time. It was filled with quiet understanding. Then Liam's scanner blinked red. He rushed to the screen. "What is it?" Vera asked, suddenly alert again. "Something's approaching," Liam muttered. "A ship. It's not mine." Vera grabbed Nari's hand and sat up straighter. Her voice turned serious. "It's him. He's found us." "Who?" Liam asked. "The slaver captain," Vera said, her face hardening. "He always tracks what he loses." Liam looked at the scanner again. The ship wasn't landing yet, but it was hovering nearby. Whoever it was, they were close enough to watch and maybe to strike. "I have weapons," Liam said. "I'll protect." You. Vera gave him a look, not of disbelief, but of something else. You don't know who you're up against, she said. He doesn't care about law or mercy. Liam turned away from the scanner. I've faced worse, he said firmly. Vera stared at him again, studying the human who pulled them from the snow and now stood ready to fight for them. In her world, most would have walked away. But this one stayed. Nari leaned against her sister, her voice soft. He's kind. Trust him. Vera didn't answer right away. But in her heart, something shifted. Liam moved to check his gear. Shelter lights turned red, signaling proximity alert. Vera and Nari huddled close, waiting. This time, they weren't alone, and the storm outside wasn't the only threat coming their way. The storm roared louder outside, pressing against the walls of the shelter like a monster trying to get in. Inside, the air was warm, almost too warm. Liam adjusted the heater controls, then checked the power cells again they were holding. Steady, but not forever. Behind him, the two alien sisters sat close together on the padded floor. Vera's arms were wrapped around Nari, who leaned sleepily on her shoulder. Their blankets had slipped down, exposing their slender arms, still, faintly glowing with that soft blue light. The heat had returned color to their skin, but their eyes still held shadows. Liam tossed another heat pack into the chamber. You two should rest, he said. Vera looked up. We've rested enough. If that slaver finds this place, we'll have to run again. You won't, Liam said firmly, then walked over and dropped a new thermal sheet across their legs. He's not getting in. Nari peeked up at him and gave a small smile. You sound so sure. I am, he replied. Nari shifted under the blanket, her fingers brushing his arm. You're warm, she said gently. Vera narrowed her eyes. Slightly, but said nothing. Liam noticed the look, but pretended not to. Instead, he stood and moved toward the supplies locker. There's enough food here for weeks, he said. You're safe now. Just eat, sleep, and stay warm. Vera tilted her head. You live out here alone? Liam nodded. By choice. Strange choice, Vera muttered. I've seen what crowds do, he said simply. Noise, greed, cruelty. I prefer the silence. And the snow doesn't lie. Vera looked at him carefully, as if searching for something in his voice. You've fought before? She said. Liam turned to her. I was a soldier. I thought so. He didn't ask how she knew. The way he moved, the way he stayed alert, the quiet sadness in his eyes, it was all there. Nari slowly stood and walked toward the heater, holding her blanket around her shoulders. She sat beside Liam and looked into the orange glow. I never thought humans were real, she said softly. We heard stories about your kind. Deathworlders, you were called. Liam raised an eyebrow. Deathworlders. Beings born on violent planets, Nari explained. Hard, wild places that make hard, wild people. Most believed humans were just myths. And now? He asked. She smiled gently. Now I know the myth is warm. Vera stood too and joined them. Her face was more guarded, but something had changed in her. She didn't treat Liam like a threat anymore. Now she watched him like a puzzle she couldn't solve. Why did you help us? Vera asked suddenly. Liam didn't answer right away. He stared into the heater, the flames dancing in his reflection. Because no one else would, he said at last. Vera blinked. I've seen people left to die. I've seen what happens when you turn your back on the weak, Liam continued. I swore I'd never do that again. Nari reached for his hand and held it gently. You saved us, she said. In our culture, that means something. Glanced at her. What do you mean, Vera? Looked uncomfortable. It's too early. No, it's not, Nari whispered. She turned toward him fully, her large glowing eyes serious. In our world, if someone saves your life, not for reward, not for gain, but with their own hands, then a bond is formed. A sacred bond. Liam frowned. What kind of bond? Marriage, Nari said. He laughed softly, thinking she was joking, but she didn't laugh with him. Vera stepped forward, her voice calm but strong. She's serious. It's in our blood, our law, our soul. When a male saves a female this way, he becomes her chosen, unless he refuses. Liam's smile faded. You're saying, I'm now married to one of you? Nari looked down, cheeks glowing with faint blue light. Maybe both. Vera nodded once. We are sisters, but we share a bond stronger than most. If we choose the same male, and he accepts, then it is allowed. Liam stood slowly. Wait, I didn't do any of this expecting we know, Vera interrupted. What makes it real? He turned away, needing space to think. The small shelter suddenly felt even smaller. Behind him, he could feel both sets of eyes watching him, one soft and hopeful, the other steady and unsure. He wasn't sure what was more dangerous now, the storm outside or the strange warmth growing inside. Suddenly, the scanner beeped. Again, Vera rushed to his side. Is it him? Liam checked the display. No, he said, but the ship's still hovering. Hasn't left. Vera's voice dropped. Then we don't have long. Liam looked at them both. For now, they were safe. But heat wouldn't stop what was coming, and hearts weren't the only things melting in that shelter. A low hum vibrated through the shelter walls, steady, slow, dangerous. Liam's eyes shot to the scanner. The ship was no longer hovering. It was descending. They're landing, said standing fast. Vera moved beside him, her face pale but focused. It's him. I know that sound. That engine always screamed like a dying animal. Nari sat up from the floor, blanket clutched to her chest. Her voice trembled. He found us? Liam's hands moved quickly across the console. Looks like it. One ship. Mid-sized. Heat signature says 3 life forms. Small crew. Don't be fooled, Vera said. He doesn't need an army. He's cruel enough alone. Outside, snow whipped through the air as a dark shadow appeared in the sky. The storm had thinned, but the wind still roared. The slavers. Ship cut through it like a knife. Liam turned to the sisters. Get in the back chamber. Lock the inner door. Do not open it unless I say. I'm not leaving you, Vera said firmly. I'm not asking, he replied, grabbing his weapon. Nari stood slowly. He'll try to take us again. Let him try, Liam muttered, loading the pulse rifle. Vera stared at him. You'll fight him alone? I've faced worse than a greedy slaver, he said. She opened her mouth to protest. But something in Liam's eyes stopped her. He wasn't just brave, he was dangerous in silence. A man with ghosts and fire in his past. The sisters backed into the side chamber. The inner door sealed with a soft hiss. Liam took a deep breath. Outside, the ship landed with a thud that shook the walls. The scanner beeped. 3 figures stepped out, but only one moved with purpose. Tall, heavy boots, slow steps, full of power. The slaver himself. Liam stood near the main door, waiting. His fingers hovered over the panel. He let the intruder knock first. A loud bang echoed through the door. Then a voice came, smooth, arrogant, familiar. I know what's inside, the man called out. Open this door, human. You don't want trouble. Liam didn't answer another knock. Louder. I'm not here to kill you, the voice said. Just hand over my property. Liam's voice came sharp and cold. They're not property. Pause, then laughter. Ah, one of those, the man chuckled. Do you even know what they are? Where they're from? They're nothing but pretty slaves who ran off before delivery. They're not yours, friend. They're mine. Liam opened the door. The slaver stood tall, armored chestplate glowing faintly red. His face was marked with old scars, his eyes yellow and empty of soul. 2 thugs stood behind him, armed but unsure. Liam stepped outside. Pulse rifle pointed low but ready. I don't care what you think they are, he said. They're under my protection now. The slaver smiled with rotten teeth. You must be new around here, he sneered. Because no one takes from me and breathes the next day. Liam didn't blink. You'll find out I'm not like most. The slaver took 1 step forward. Liam raised the rifle instantly. That's far enough. The thugs reached for their weapons to slow. Liam fired. One dropped with a cry, shot in the leg. Others scrambled back. The slaver froze, growling. Said Liam repeated, "They're not yours." The slaver hissed, face twisting. "You think you're some kind of hero?" "I don't need to be a hero," Liam said. "Just faster than you." He stepped forward, weapon still locked on the slaver. "You'll leave this moon now." The slaver stared at him for a long moment, then he spat into the snow. "This isn't over," he growled. Liam narrowed his eyes. "Wait, it is for you." The slaver backed up, dragging his wounded man toward the ship. The engines flared. In seconds, the ship lifted into the sky, disappearing into the snowstorm. Liam lowered. The rifle butt didn't relax. He waited, eyes scanning the horizon, until the last sound vanished into the wind. Only then did he turn back toward the shelter. The door opened slowly. Vera stood there, strong, silent, proud. "You did it," she said softly. "He won't." "Try again," Liam replied. Nari peeked from behind her sister, eyes wide. "We heard everything. You faced him. For us." "I meant what I said," Liam told them. "No one takes you again." Vera stepped closer. "In our world," she said, voice calm, "this is the second bond." Liam looked confused. "Second bond?" "The first is saving a life," Vera said. "The second is risking your own to protect it again. That makes it sacred." Nari moved beside her, her hand finding his arm. "You didn't just rescue us, Liam," she whispered. "You claimed us." He didn't know what to say. The snow was still falling outside, but inside, something heavier had just landed. Not danger, but something strange and powerful. Not chains, but connection. And maybe something that couldn't be undone. Night returned to the ice moon. The storm had passed, leaving the land silent and cold. Stars hung above like frozen sparks. Inside the shelter, the air was warm, the danger gone, the tension had changed. Liam sat by the heater repairing his weapon. His hands moved with calm focus, but his mind wasn't on the rifle. It was on the sisters, and the strange things they had said after the slaver left. "You claimed us." That sentence kept echoing in his head. In the back of the shelter, Vera sat quietly, sharpening a small blade. Nari moved around slowly, placing food near the heater, humming softly. She smiled whenever she passed. Liam, a kind of warmth in her eyes that didn't match the cold world outside. Liam finally stood and walked toward them. "I still don't understand your bond rules," he said. Vera looked up. "It's not a rule, it's a truth, a life-deep one." He crossed his arms. "So I save you, fight for you, and suddenly, I'm what?" "Your husband," Nari turned. "Not just a husband, a protector. Our partner. In our people's bond. It means soul joined to soul." "That's a lot to drop on a man in 2 days," Liam said. Vera stood and stepped closer. "You didn't do it for a reward. That's what matters." When a male saves a bonded female without asking for anything, it awakens something ancient. Something even we don't fully choose. Liam shook his head. "What if I don't want that kind of bond?" "Then you are free," Vera said, voice steady. "But the bond still lives in us. Denying it doesn't erase it." Nara's voice came gentle. "You feel it, don't you?" Liam looked away. He had faced death before. Monsters, war, betrayal. But this feeling inside him now was stranger than all of that. These weren't just strangers anymore. He knew their voices, their fears, the way Nari smiled even when she was scared. The way Vera watched everything like a soldier who had seen too much. Liam sighed. "I don't know what I feel." Nari walked to him and took his hand. "Then let us show you." Vera nodded. "Tonight we declare." Before he could ask what that meant, they moved. Vera took a pouch from her satchel and poured powder into a small bowl. Nari lit it with a flick of her glowing fingers. The powder sparked into soft violet flame. A sweet scent filled the shelter, like honey and snow. The sisters knelt by the flame, facing each other. Then they looked up at Liam. "If you kneel with us," Vera said, "you accept the bond." Liam stared at them, at their calm faces. At the ancient fire now burning between them, the feeling rising in his chest like a wave. He knelt. The air grew still. Nari spoke first. By the warmth of the one who found me in the cold, I offer my bond. Vera followed. By the strength of the one who stood when others would run, I offer mine. They both looked at Liam. He swallowed, then spoke slowly. By the storm I crossed to reach you, and the fight I chose to keep you safe, I accept. The flame jumped higher for a moment, then faded into glowing ash dot silence. Then Vera leaned forward and touched her forehead to Liam's. Nari followed, her hand on his shoulder, her breath soft as a whisper. The bond was done. No rings. No ceremony. Just truth spoken over flame. Liam felt something shift in his chest. Not heavy, not trapping. It was light, like a second heartbeat. Couldn't explain it, but he knew something sacred had taken root. The sisters rose together. No longer looked like rescued victims. They stood like queens who had chosen their mate. Nari's smile turned playful. So, husband. Liam raised an eyebrow. Don't push it, she laughed. Vera rolled her eyes, but even she smiled. The night passed in quiet peace. Liam lay near the heater, the sisters beside him, their blankets overlapping. He didn't touch them, didn't need to. Just knowing they were close felt enough. Outside, snow drifted lazily under the starlight. Inside, hearts were no longer wandering. The bond was declared, but the journey was just beginning. The morning was quiet, but something had changed. Liam stepped outside for air, boots crunching softly against the ice. The storm was finally gone. Sky above was pale blue, and the snow glowed like glass. The world looked peaceful, but his heart was not. Inside the shelter, two alien sisters slept side by side, their breathing steady, their bond to him now sealed by ancient words and fire. He had accepted their bond, their culture, their trust, but now a new storm was building, not outside, but between them. He walked back inside. Nari was already awake, sitting near the heater with a smile on her face. Her silver hair fell over one shoulder, and her glowing eyes watched him with quiet joy. Did you sleep well? She asked softly. Liam nodded. You? I dreamed of your hands, she said, voice light. He blinked. That's a bold thing to say first thing in the morning. She giggled. I'm yours now. Should I hide how I feel? Before he could answer, Vera appeared from the back, her expression unreadable. She moved with calm grace, but her eyes landed on Nari, then on Liam, and stayed there for a long moment. We need water, Vera said simply. Liam grabbed the purifier tank. I'll refill it. I'll help. Nari offered quickly. No, Vera said, sharp and sudden. Let him go alone. Nari frowned. Why? 'Cause we need to talk, Vera replied, eyes locked on her sister. Liam felt the tension. Rising, he stepped outside with the tank, leaving the door slightly open, his ears tuned to the voices behind him. Inside, Nari crossed her arms. What's your problem? Vera knelt by the heater. This isn't a game. I know that, Nari snapped. Why do you think I said the bond words? 'Cause you always follow your heart without thinking. And you never follow yours? Nari shot back. Vera didn't answer at first. Then she whispered, I've been protecting you our whole life. On the ship, in the snow, even here, and now. I see the way you look at him. I see the way he looks back. He looks at you too, Nari said, softer now. Vera's voice lowered. I'm not sure he should. Liam stepped back inside, pretending he hadn't heard a word. Leave. He placed the filled tank by the purifier and cleared his throat. Waters. Ready? Neither sister spoke. The silence stretched. Later, as the sun reached its highest point, Liam sat outside, sharpening his blade. Nari appeared beside him, dropping down with a small laugh. I told her I'm not going to back down, she said. He looked at her, unsure what she meant. You mean Vera? He asked. Nari nodded. She thinks I'm too young to want you. That I only feel this way because you saved us. Liam raised an eyebrow. And do you? Nari's smile faded. I don't know. But when I see you, I feel safe, warm, like I belong somewhere. I want that. I want you. He looked away, unsure what to say. Nari leaned her head on his shoulder. Inside the shelter, Vera watched from the shadows. That night, as Liam tried to sleep, Vera approached him. "Can we speak?" she asked. He sat up. She sat beside him, her eyes fixed on the dim light of the heater. "I told you about our bond," she began. "But I didn't tell you everything," he listened. "Our kind rarely shares a mate. It's allowed, but only when both females agree from the heart. If one does it out of duty or pressure, the bond turns bitter." Liam nodded slowly. Vera continued, "I can feel Nari's heart. It beats for you. Loud and full, but mine, it's torn." He didn't speak. "I want to protect her," Vera said. "But I also want to feel what she feels when you look at her. I want that fire." Liam turned to her. "Then why not take it?" She laughed softly, without joy. "Because I'm scared. Not of you. They're losing what I've always been. The strong one, the guardian, the sister who never needed." He took her hand. "You don't have to be that anymore. Not here." Vera's fingers trembled in his. "I don't know if I can share you," she whispered. "Then don't," he said. Gently. "Choose what feels true to you. I'll never ask you to give more than your heart wants." Tears welled in her eyes, the first since the day he found her frozen in the snow. In that moment, as the wall she had built for years began to melt. Outside, the moonlight spilled over the ice like silver silk. Inside, a human sat between two sisters. One bold and fiery, the other silent and strong, both pulling at pieces of his heart, and he had no idea which way it would break. The final morning on the ice moon came with a quiet stillness. The storm had ended days ago. Sky above was clear, a deep shade of blue stretching far into the stars. Liam stood outside the shelter, looking at the empty horizon. No slaver ships, no danger, just snow and silence. But inside him, the real storm had never stopped. He had faced war, he had survived alone. But nothing had prepared him for this. Two alien sisters, both beautiful, both brave, both bonded to him. He had saved their lives. Now they wanted to share his. He didn't know how to choose. Behind him, the shelter door opened with a soft hiss. Both sisters stepped out together, side by side. They wore thick robes made from Liam's spare materials, carefully cut and sewn by Vera's skilled hands. Their silver hair danced in the wind, glowing faintly in the morning light. Nari smiled, bright as always. "The air feels lighter today." "It's time," Vera said, her voice calm but filled with something deeper. Liam turned. "Time for what?" Nari reached into her robe and pulled out a small circular stone etched with glowing blue lines. Vera placed her hand over it. "It is our choice." Liam looked at them confused. "What do you mean?" "In our culture," Vera explained, "if two bonded sisters cannot agree, they present the truth to the male they love. One final time, and he speaks his heart," Nari added gently. "No running, no hiding, just truth." Liam stepped back. "I never wanted to break either of you. You won't," Vera said. "But the bond must become clear. Not just between us, inside you." They knelt before him, the stone between them glowing softly. Nara spoke first. "You made me feel alive again. When you looked at me, I saw a future, warmth, love. I want to stand by your side, not as a memory of fear, but as your flame." Then Vera spoke. "You gave me something I never thought I needed, someone to lean on. I've been strong for so long, I forgot how it felt to be held. But when I saw you fight for us, I didn't just see a warrior. I saw a home." The wind whispered across the snow. Liam looked at them both, his chest heavy, his heart louder than ever. "I came to this moon to be alone," he said. "But then I found you frozen, broken, brave. I didn't expect anything. I just wanted you to live." He paused. "But now, I don't want to go back to silence. I don't want cold nights with no one near. I want to wake up with two voices in my ear, two hands in mine." He took a breath, eyes locked on theirs. I don't want to choose one. I want both, if your hearts are open. Silence stretched, but not from doubt. Nare's eyes filled with joy. She reached forward, placing her hand on the stone. Vera hesitated for only a moment, then followed. The stone flashed bright blue. The bond was sealed together. Nar laughed through her tears and jumped into Liam's arms, holding him tightly. Vera stood and stepped into his embrace, resting her head against his chest. The three of them stood under the clear sky, a single shape against the endless snow. Later, beside the shelter, Liam packed the last of their supplies. A transport. Beacon now blinked on the console. Help was coming. A rescue crew from a distant station would arrive soon. He glanced at the two sisters. They moved around the room like they had always belonged there. Vera folded blankets with quiet focus. Nari hummed as she stirred soup. It felt like home as the sun dipped low. Nari walked over and wrapped her arms around Liam from behind. "Not alone anymore," she whispered. "I know," he said, turning to kiss her forehead. Vera joined them, standing close. "When we leave this moon, everything changes. We'll face questions, stares, maybe worse. I faced worse," Liam said with a small smile. Vera nodded. "Then we face it together." The beacon beeped a signal from the sky. Liam looked up. A new life waited beyond the clouds. Not just survival, but family. Warmth, love, and something deeper. He stepped outside one last time. The wind was gentle now. Behind him, two alien sisters waited, his bonded hearts, his future. His flame, one heart carried by two. Two flames burning for one, and the snow never felt cold again.